Robyn and Henry, thanks for coming on. You guys had such an interesting experience, and I think a lot of our viewers are going to be curious to hear about this. First of all, tell me about what you do, because you guys travel a lot, right?
So essentially, we run a travel blog called A Couple Things to Do. We both do our own things. I run a software business, and Robyn, you're an assistant for
fitness coaches.
Yeah. So we both do our own thing, but basically we wanted to have something that would allow us, at the time Robyn was working for the government, we wanted to create something that allows us to travel, which is where we started the travel blog, soon after a TikTok, which sort of then spiraled from there. So we both have our own things, but we do the travel blog together, and Robyn sort of leads that as well.
So take me back. This was a year ago that you visited this spa, and this video just went viral the first time you visited, and then I feel like it's got momentum. It's still coming out there. I'm seeing it for the first time here recently. So tell me about this spa. It's in Italy, correct? How did you learn about it? And take me through the process of going there and what it was like.
Well, we were going to Italy last year for a holiday, and it happened to be on Henry's birthday, and I was looking for things to do for him that were unique, and we like unique things, don't we? We like to do things that bit kind of.
Find it through TikTok.
Yeah, it was through TikTok. So I was looking on TikTok, and then I saw this guy made this video on the spa, and to be honest, credits to him because he probably made it before we did. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that's amazing. I wonder where it is. And it said it was in Milan. And I was like, no way, we're literally just about to go. So then I found out the name, booked us a ticket, and you didn't know we were going until the day.
Yeah, until we rocked up at the spa.
Yeah, so, and it was just, and we just obviously we just started our blog and our TikTok and everything at the time. So we're like, this is perfect. Let's film all of this. And then I don't think it was 2 weeks later, and we actually made the video, and it was just sat in our camera roll for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden it just.
Tell me about walking in, and is it already bad weather when you walk in, or does it start up once you're in the water?
Oh, which one?
It's set almost in an old. It's not an old railway station, but
the spa itself is. The spa itself is an old railway station.
Old railway station. So it's the walls are all old walls. You walk in, it's a very grand building. You don't know that this storm room's in there at all. And the spa's over 2 levels. You go to the ground floor and you can sort of hear rumbling and thunder.
Yeah.
But we had no idea what it was because I don't think you showed me the video. So you must have knew.
I knew. I was waiting for us to find the room. Yeah. I knew we were going to find it anytime soon. And then you go in and it's just, you go around a corner and then it's literally just the whole room is immersive. There's just water all coming from literal rain from the ceiling. The whole screen's wrapped around and you can lie in it. And when you're lying in it, you genuinely feel like you are in a storm. You do, don't you?
Yeah, I actually have flashbacks. One of the cool things for me, if you lie right down in the spa because you're lying down, and you sort of half submerge your ears, the rain's in front of you. You can't see the ceiling, so you can't actually see that you're in a room. All you can see is the screens in front of you. It's raining from above. And I actually had flashbacks to when I was a kid playing football in during thunderstorms. It was that immersive that it was, it brought back memories for me. It was pretty cool, which doesn't usually happen to me.
Yeah.
So I assume the water you're sitting in is warm. Is the rain warm too, or was that a realistic cold rain?
I think the rain's this water's warm. The rain's a little bit colder, which I feel adds to it.
Yeah, it is. It's not uncomfortable though. You don't get these splashes of rain and you're not freezing. You are warm. It is almost like a jacuzzi kind of temperature, I would say.
Yeah.
The water.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got jets and there's other things that underneath that kind of simulate the storm as well. But the actual rain, it comes in floods as well. Depending on what's going on the screen, it might be kind of spitting at parts, and then at other times
it'll be
as well. Yeah, there's wind, so you can kind of feel it all from all angles. It is very immersive, especially because you're lying down. You are very much in it. And obviously there's not that many people at a time that are lying down, so you don't feel like it's overcrowded, or you don't feel like people are just standing in front of you. You do just kind of lie down and experience it, which I think definitely makes it.
Was it relaxing or was it scary at times?
Well, there was probably two versions. So one of the things I really liked about the spa is in the middle of the day, you have sort of a bottomless brunch. So before it's sort of, obviously it's completely new to you. The spa is very relaxing. You go in, there's that, and you still relax because there's all the stuff going on. And then you fill yourself with food at lunch. You get a few beers down as you do. It was my birthday, so you can imagine how it went. And then the afternoon's a little bit more of a wavier. It's like, yeah.
It would depend, because the one in Milan was definitely like, I would say, a lot more kind of just in your face, can be quite scary at times in like the more dramatic parts of it. But then the most recent one we went to in Lake Garda, there was different options. There was different, which we didn't have in the first one, where there was kind of like 3 or 4 different kind of, I guess, experiences. And one of them was definitely more relaxing and a lot more tranquil, and then there was ones that were like heavily stormed as well, which was a really nice experience because we didn't expect that going there. We thought it would just be very similar to the one in Milan, but the one in Lake Garda was,
for context, different. It's like owned by QC Terma, isn't it?
QC
like QC Terma has spas all over the world. We did the Milan one, and then they paid for us all inclusive to then go to their one in Lake Garda, which is where, as Robyn said, there was like not just a storm.
Yeah.
There was, I think there was 3 different storms.
Yeah, and then there was one that was very different to any of them, which was more of like a music
colours and shapes,
and it was definitely a different experience. All the colours and the music went with it, and then the music kind of matched with the rain. We didn't expect that one, did we? Because I think that was the first one we saw, and we were like, "Whoa, this is so different to the one in Milan." And obviously the one everyone's seen on like Instagram and TikTok, but it can be very different depending on, I guess, how you're feeling and if you're scared, that kind of thing as well.
I'm curious, did you talk to the owners or the people that created it at all to find out, like, are they like movie people? Where do they get this expertise to make this? Because I would assume that spa people are kind of good at massages and relaxation and not good at theater, you know?
Well, the funny thing is, Emily, because obviously it's like, it is the Milan one less so, but the Garda one is obviously, it's right in like, it's deep in Italy. So everyone there is very, very Italian. And we could barely communicate with the people in Lake Garda, to be honest. I think it was like 90% Italians there.
Yeah.
And then the one in Garda, the one in Milan, because it was so new to us, we didn't really know what was going on and have time to process and speak to them about it, to be honest.
And I think as well, like, the whole spa is immersive. Obviously, that room is very much the star of the show sort of room, but there's so many different rooms and experiences throughout the whole spa, like the different saunas. There's like a cinema room sauna, isn't there? There's loads of other things that you can do in the spa. Obviously, the storm room is just probably the most unique one compared to, we don't really have, well, I haven't seen it anywhere else. So yeah, it'd be interesting to find out where they came up with the idea, because
we should have asked.
We should have asked. We'll find that out.
In all of your travels, is this one of the most interesting things that you've experienced, or have you had you said you like unique experiences. Have you ever experienced anything kind of to this level of uniqueness?
Good question, isn't it?
I think that's what we struggled with, because that was our first like unique thing that we found that kind of just went off, and then we were like, right, this is going to be really hard to top, because this is, it was definitely one of a kind.
We've been very lucky. Like I would say the 3 things: the restaurant in Milan, is it Milan, that we did for my birthday? Can you remember what it was called? The restaurant we did in Milan was stunning.
Quite the birthday.
It was like the equivalent, the guy that owned it and like shook our hand at the end. He was like the equivalent of, like, I don't know if you know Gordon Ramsay of Italy, like that kind of
okay.
For anyone listening, if they're going
Angry.
on travel, we've got a whole section on our travel blog about Italy, and it's got all the places we'd recommend. One of my best experiences, Robyn didn't do it at the time, but she's doing it in 2 weeks, is spearfishing in Bali. That was absolutely incredible.
With the locals.
With the locals, spearfishing tuna, which was incredible.
Yeah. Some crazy things in Southeast Asia that I think we've experienced that. I think because we've been here so much over the year. I mean, we're Southeast Asia 7 months of this year.
Yeah,
so I think a lot of it's become quite normal to us. But when we think about it, it's probably not very like normal, like the kind of the stuff that we've been able to do because we've just immersed ourselves in Southeast Asia now. But I think Southeast Asia definitely has some of the best experiences we've ever had.
Like vineyards in Italy, like Italy's got a special place in our heart, and we'll definitely go back, especially for Florence. We had like La Giostra in Florence is definitely an experience.
Yeah, that's
anyone that likes Italian food and they're in Florence have got to go there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you guys so much. Anything else you want to add about your experience?
Sure. Yeah, the spa, I think that's one thing I'd add is like a lot of people were so shocked at how accessible and affordable it was and I was too. Like I looked at that and I thought, wow, that's going to be a high-end spa. And don't get me wrong, they are high-end spas in the sense of they are some of the most beautiful spas we've ever seen, and like the whole chain has beautiful spas all over the world. I think there's some in America as well, but it actually going into them spas in Italy was so affordable for a day pass. So I feel like it's something that everyone, if they get the chance, should go and experience because it's a great day.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. While you're here, check out some other videos you just may like.